Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the newly rebranded Inside Reviews. We've been using the word inside for a lot of things lately, so I was like, the new incarnation of the reviews on this video will be called Inside Reviews. For now, working title. So, Daredevil Born Again Season 2. Wow. What a season. What a last episode. We're going to get into all of that in just a moment. But first, let's set the stage on what we ran into in season 2. Fisk, Mayor Fisk, Wilson Fisk, the Kingpin, has a stranglehold over this city as the mayor. Obviously, we know that Fisk is not a good guy. He's the villain. And yet he's been elected mayor. And he's basically the commander and chief and the lawmaker of this city, which Daredevil is his nemesis. I think that is the main reason why he is enacted a task force to combat vigilante. The last season, at the end of last season, when Fisk got control of the city, you're thinking, like, how? I don't see a path for Daredevil to win. This is the mayor of the city. How is he going to win? And obviously, we'll get to that in just a moment. But yes, what a great season. So here's the part where we get to generalities of the plot. Obviously, I just feel like with any review, there's going to be spoilers. So, but for the most part, the points I'm about to give you in the plot, and it's just a general like statement here. Most of it is kind of general. We'll get into specifics when we get into my thoughts and analysis. But yeah, Mayor Fisk is doing kingpin stuff in the city. We know Fisk is always involved in illegal activities as he is, and now he's the mayor of the city and doing his illegal stuff because now he's got the top office in the city. He's created this task force that is killing and detaining people without due process, which is basically supposed to be against the laws of the United States, which is not giving people due process. Daredevil is basically, obviously, his counterpart. He's in hiding, fighting against Fisk, kind of in the shadows as Daredevil. Ultimately, it comes down to this long-standing feud between these two. Sometimes with fisticuffs, sometimes legally, and more. These two butt heads all season. And that is generally what the season was about. Now we're getting to the full-blown spoilers, because now we're going to talk about things that, like, major points during the season, for lack of a better word. So I will say this. Before we got into this season, a lot of people said that they got to watch the whole episode and review it early. I mean, every episode, not just a couple, how great this season was. Now I watched the first 3 episodes and I was like, okay, it's kind of the same as what we were seeing last season. I gave episode 1, 2, and 3 in order 7.2, 7.4, 7.3, which is good on the hex scale, but it wasn't anything special at that point to me. It was pretty much generally what I have been seeing all season long. Until we got into episode 4, I think. I think it was episode 4 was the first like jump in the rating system for me. This was the episode where Fisk was supposed to be doing, I think it was a charity boxing match against, I don't know, was it a member of the law enforcement? Basically, he kills the guy in the ring. But the whole general like thing around that episode was protecting his wife Vanessa from what was his name? I'm pretty sure his name was Bullseye. His name is escaping me. And you know there's a lot of these type of characters in comic books, right? He's free and he's out to kill Fisk, as we've seen earlier when he in season 1 when he tried to kill Fisk. Also, Bullseye is the person that killed Foggy Nelson, which was Matt Murdock / Daredevil's friend in season 1. But he has his eye on killing Vanessa, I think, in this episode, if I'm remembering correctly. Again, I watch these episodes now and I don't take notes. Instead of doing video for every episode, I watch the whole season now and just do one video. And then I try to put all my thoughts on paper. So that's why memory gets foggy, especially in the earlier episodes, because I did watch this week to week, and this was pretty much 6 weeks ago, I think. But he sets his sights on Vanessa, and to be honest, Fisk has been winning since he got mayor. He's been in control, basically. Yes, Daredevil's had small victories here and there, but Fisk has been in control of everything. So in this episode, I wanted him to be able to kill Vanessa. First of all, for her involvement in killing Foggy, and it would serve her right. So I don't remember what Bullseye shot at her, flung at her. It was like a something glass, and Fisk had like the championship belt that he won in that boxing match, and was able to hit it and break it. I'm like, this guy is supposed to have this projectile speed with his stuff. How in the world does Fisk have the ability to deflect it with the belt? So I was not happy. I'm like, how did Fisk save her? The camera pans out, and I think a piece of the glass was lodged into her neck, and she drops, and she appears to be dead. And I did celebrate the death of Vanessa in that episode. Just to come around next episode to see that she was alive. She was in the hospital in critical condition, but heart still beating, still breathing. I didn't really like that episode that much because we spent a lot of time in her head. She did wake up from her coma, basically, in that episode. And I was like, how? Fisk wins it again. I just wanted Fisk to lose something, to have a major thing happen to him, because he's just been winning and dominating. But she does eventually die in the hospital. She wakes up, appears to be okay, then flatlines and dies. Fisk begins to lose it after this. Yes, I was happy I heard that, because this is the first thing since Wilson Fisk had been mayor that he lost. This is the biggest thing that he lost since being mayor. So yes, I was happy about that, because finally something happened to him. So before I get into more of the main story, I'm going to touch on some of the side characters. Let's start with Heather Glenn. She's turned into a nutcase. I thought at some point, working under Fisk, that she would see the light at some point. That Fisk is like just this madman, crazy killer, bad guy. But really, she turned full heel. Heel is a wrestling term meaning bad guy. She's down with these people. She's become one of them. So I did not like her at all this season, but that is the design of the character. Daniel and BB. I wasn't a big fan of this either this season. I could see that they're trying to give Daniel just that little bit of shred of what's the word I'm looking for? I guess of a conscience, with all the dirty things and the killings and just the illegal things that the administration that he works for was doing. They're trying to give him a little bit of a conscience and a soft spot for BB. I just never really bought into their relationship. She's there to try to get dirt and information on Fisk. I think he actually liked her, but obviously we saw throughout the series that he knew what she was up to, and he'd been covering up for her. This story ends with his come to Jesus moment, because he was going to bring her in, I guess, possibly to die. Eventually he changes his mind and lets her leave, escape. He comes in and he pays for that with his life, which was tough, but I just think when you deal with the wrong people, he knew the people he was dealing with, and he kind of got what he deserved, because he turned a blind eye to this. If he was actually a decent person, he would have never gotten this deep into it. He just wanted the I don't know, the power, the fame, the money, the glory that came with being a part of that position, and he paid for it with his life. Now, if you watch my trailer reaction, you saw that I was really excited Jessica Jones was in it.
I hope he can walk.
Yes, the rumors are true. She's back. So that was given away in the trailer. And we got the episode that she appears in. It seemed like a lot of that was given away in the trailer. So it kind of made it less special for me when she was finally in that episode. And then the beginning of the next episode, she said she was going home. So I was like, is this just a one-off? So we get Jessica Jones. She has an episode where she's kind of back, and she's going to leave. And most of the stuff that we saw was basically in the trailer. That felt a little bit empty to me, but obviously later we realized she stayed. She came back to fight alongside Daredevil and the resistance. That made it better for me. But if it was just that one episode and then she left, I wouldn't have been too pleased with that. But it did end up pleasing me. But it would have been more effective of a surprise if it wasn't in the trailer. However, there'd be a big surprise later. I think that made up for it. For me, at least. And it's something that I think I mentioned in the reaction. So we'll get to that in just a moment. Let's get to the final showdown between Fisk and Murdoch. Deborah Ann Wall's character, her name is escaping me right now, is on trial for the vigilante act thing. Fisk is trying to obviously make an example out of her, wants her to go down, wants her to be locked down for his initiative against vigilanteism. Matt Murdock comes out of hiding in this because the cameras are there. So would Fisk try to do something with cameras there? Murdock knew he probably wouldn't, to continue to hide in the shadows and do his evil doing. Is on the case as a attorney, the attorney team for Deborah Ann Wall. So Matt Murdock presents evidence of Fisk's involvement of the illegal weapon transfer and exposed him in court. And eventually, Murdock wins the case. The public sentiment is turning on Fisk. His dirty dealings is starting to be more and more exposed to the public as the citizens are starting to revolt. And that's when we get this final showdown in the courtroom. Fisk goes mad after the case. He's like, let the people in. He lets the people in and just starts killing them. Dozens of them with his bare hands, smashing skulls, breaking backs. Obviously, the Kingpin's strength, I don't know how to describe it. Obviously, he has super strength, but he's just killing people. But eventually, Daredevil and him are face to face on a balcony. And Fisk and him have a talk. Basically, Murdock is almost kind of showing this man mercy, telling him that he loves the city. They both love the city. And he can see that. And eventually, Fisk takes the deal, which is probably not the way I would have liked to seen it end. But they work out a deal as Fisk accepts the terms. And it's kind of crazy that these two that we've seen butt heads across the Netflix show years ago, in this new series, Born Again, and this is potentially how it ends. Now, I expect probably Fisk to come back at some point, but if this is how it ends, the guys have like a conversation and a come to Jesus meeting between one another, and they just basically decide that, hey, this is self-destructive for both of us. Let's not do this anymore. That is kind of a crazy way of ending it. It makes sense the way they did it because this show is tight and this finale was amazing. I gave it a 9.9 masterpiece rating for the finale. But knowing me, I'm an action guy. I like to see somebody clearly defeated, whether it be a fight to a death or the guy's in prison or whatever. Get what he deserves. And the funny thing is, Fisk killed dozens of people in that courtroom. The blood is still on his suit. And somehow he's free on a remote location on a tropical beach. And Daredevil ends up in prison. That's how the episode ended, basically. Fisk is on a tropical beach free, fresh off of killing dozens of people, and Daredevil goes to prison. Now, I'm pretty sure, from what I've looked up, there is a season 3 of this show coming. Obviously, we can't wait for that. But let me talk about the final surprise. I think I was going to give this episode like a 9.7 or so. I gave it 0.2 of a point more for that final surprise. Jessica Jones is at home, and her daughter says, Daddy's here. And who comes out of the shadows? Luke effing Cage. Wow. They actually held a surprise. Now it makes sense why Jessica Jones was revealed in the trailer if you're going to reveal this surprise at the end. Luke Cage is back. We got Jessica Jones. If I can get Luke Cage back, I would be a happy man at the end. And oh my God, my mind is working on what the possibilities could be for season 3. Great effing show. And yes, I did give the finale a 9.9. Unbelievable show. So, as I said, I gave some of those episodes early like 7s. And again, I know some people think like 7 is bad. 7 is good on the hex scale. All right. Bad is like a 4. 5 is like average. 6 is okay. There's a designation there between a high 6 and a low 7 that's solid. And 7.2 and up to 8 is or 7.2 to 7.9 is good. Then 8 is great, and so on and so forth. Just to throw that out there. So I think there was only one episode that I gave like a 7.1. I think it was the episode after the boxing match and Vanessa getting potentially killed in the boxing ring, because I'm not a big fan of flashbacks. And that was more of a flashback episode. So that's just a me thing. So I gave that one a 7.1. The episode before that, I think I gave like a 8 something. But just to give you a kind of a recap of what I gave each episode. Actually, I could read them off. That would probably be easier than me skipping around. Episode 1, 7.2. Episode 2, 7.4. Episode 3, 7.3. Episode 4, 8.4. Episode 5, 7.1. Episode 6, 7.8. Episode 7, 8.8. Episode 8, 9.9. So I read them off. Overall episode average, and again, I average them to come up with a final verdict, a final score. I average all the episodes together, which came out to an 8, which would be great. But for TV shows, especially, as a bonus point system, to me, I might not understand why an episode is what it is early. But if the whole like season comes together, like I can look back at some of those episodes that you rated maybe on the lower side and be like, okay, I see how it fits in there now, and maybe it deserved a little bit more, and that's why I came up with the bonus points thing in the scale, which has always been there since the beginning. But the caveat is the bonus points can only be up to 1. So, for example, it could be 0.5, 0.3, 0.2, or something like that, but it can't go any higher than 1. So the episode average was an 8. Bonus points, I gave it a full 1. So the final score for Daredevil Born Again Season 2, a 9. Elite. So man, the critics were correct about this one. This was some of the best TV I've ever watched. One of the greatest season finales, if not the greatest season finale that I've ever seen. Man, I'm looking forward to more of this. And believe me, it was hard waiting week to week to watch these episodes. I've gotten to the point now where I've gotten trained. Because my backlog of TV, it was so big that I could watch the episodes on my own pace, right? If I want to watch 2 episodes or 3 episodes a day, I could do that. So, some of the shows, well, one show that I'm going to watch soon is The Boys, but I can't do the week-to-week thing anymore. So I'll just wait until the season is like fully done, and then I'll watch. Because sometimes I just want to watch the next episode. I don't want to be left a week waiting. And that's a change for me, because I used to like marinate on it over a week, build that anticipation for the next episode. But I've changed. I think streaming has done that to me. I want more, and I don't want to wait for it. And I know why they do it week to week, because they're trying to keep subscribers as long as they can. They're trying to get your money. Sometimes that wait is kind of hard. So, yeah, that'll do it from here. I'm JohnHexx, and I am out.